What's going on, guys? TannerJFox here, and in this video we're going to be talking about Amazon's newest A10 algorithm and how understanding how this algorithm works is really the key to ranking your product on Amazon and actually getting sales. So to put it in perspective, I want to give you a couple of statistics that Amazon actually put out themselves. So to put it in perspective how important ranking your product highly on Amazon is, first statistic, 70% of Amazon customers never click past the first page of search results. So that means 70% of people look at page one and then either click something else or click off. No one even goes to the second page, really. Next, 35% of Amazon shoppers click the first product featured on a search page. So when you search on Amazon, that first listing that you see, that gets 35% of the clicks. And the first three items displayed in each search result account for 64% of the total clicks. And the last stat is that 81% of clicks are to listings that are on the first page on Amazon. So we know we said 70% of Amazon shoppers never click past the first page, but 81% of the total clicks are on that first page or products that are on that first page. So that should really show you how important it is to actually rank your product highly on Amazon. Because if you can't rank your product high, you can't get traffic. And if you can't get traffic, you just can't get sales. So the best way to kind of explain Amazon's algorithm is to compare it to Google's, where it's very focused around different keywords and people kind of searching different terms, but it's focused a lot more around purchasing, obviously. Amazon is all about buying products. It's not just a search engine alone, although it is one of the biggest search engines in the world. The easiest way to understand it is to look at it from Amazon's perspective. They want to make as much money as possible, so they're going to put the products that they think will sell and convert the best, the highest up in the rankings. And there's really 8 main factors that go into Amazon's algorithm. Now, only Amazon knows their entire algorithm, and there's a ton of things that actually go into it, but we do know the main factors of it and what really affects those. So let's talk about the first factor of the 8 factors we're going to be talking about. The first is sales velocity. Now, this is by far the biggest factor. I'm sure most of you already know this one, but sales velocity I have to include because it is the biggest factor. Sales velocity is just how many units of a product you are selling a day. So more sales obviously means Amazon is making more money. And this is by far the biggest factor. I can't stress it enough. And now I know some of you are thinking, well, if I need to rank to get sales, how am I going to get ranked if I need sales to rank? And it sounds like a snowball effect. And I get it, and we'll touch on that a little later. So sales velocity, that is by far the biggest one. We won't spend any more time with that one. The second one is fulfillment. So is your product fulfilled by Amazon? For those that don't know, Amazon offers something called FBA, or Fulfillment by Amazon, which is just where Amazon will store your product, package it up, ship it out, and do everything for you if you're a seller. But what that means for their customers is if you fulfill your product through Amazon, so Amazon does all those things I just mentioned, Amazon takes a small fee, your product qualifies for Prime, and the customer gets free 2-day shipping if they have a Prime account, which about 82% of households in the US have an Amazon Prime account, which is absolutely insane. So if you are a seller, using Amazon FBA or having Amazon fulfill your product is going to help your ranking. Reason being is, again, we have to look at it from Amazon's perspective. First off, they're making money from fees, but that's not the biggest factor there. Amazon has an incentive to rank those FBA products higher because they are free 2-day shipping, which will convert to more sales. If you have 2 identical products, price, everything is equal, and one is 5-day shipping and one is 2-day shipping, everyone's going to choose the 2-day shipping. Or if one is $2 shipping and one is free and they're the same time frame, it's going to be the free one, obviously. So fulfillment is the second factor in Amazon's algorithm. The third, and this one does hold some more weight. So Amazon previously had the A9 algorithm, and this one technically is still called the A9. Amazon hasn't told people to call it really anything different, but it is a new version of that, which a lot of people will call the A10 algorithm. So if you do hear that, technically it's A9, but it's really A10. The third one is click-through rate. Now, what is click-through rate? Click-through rate is the number of people who click on your listing divided by the number of people who see your listing. And obviously, the higher the better. So the way this works is if I were to go and search a random product up on Amazon, and I scroll down, and let's say there's the first page. We'll say there's 10 listings on the first page. If I scroll past the first 3, that means I saw their listing preview there. I could have clicked it, but I did not click it. And let's say I click on the 4th one. Well, that one would have a 1-to-1 click-through rate because I saw their listing preview and I clicked it. And to make it kind of more clear, because I don't feel like I described that well there, if someone, let's say you have 100 people search up a keyword that you're ranked number 1 for. And of that, let's say you get 10 people to click into your listing from your listing preview from searching that keyword. That means you have a 10% click-through rate because you had 10 out of 100 people click your listing who saw it. So click-through rate is a big one. And you have, again, we're going to think of all of these from Amazon's perspective. If they get traffic, let's say 100 people searching something, and your listing is poorly done, mainly your title and your image, because that's what's in that listing preview, then you're not going to get as many clicks. And if you're not getting as many clicks, you can't get as many sales. So that is the third factor. The fourth factor is conversion rate. Now, a little different than click-through rate. This is for people who, this is pretty much the number of people who bought your product divided by the number of people who click on your listing. And again, obviously, the higher the percentage, the better. So remember we were saying, okay, they searched a keyword, they clicked our listing. So now we're dividing the number of people who bought our product by those people that clicked on our listing. So let's say we have 100 people click on our listing and we have 15 of those buy, we have a 15% conversion rate. So this one's a little more easy to understand, especially from Amazon's perspective. More purchases from the less amount of people, the better for Amazon. They're making more from their fees and so on, because Amazon has that 15% fee, the referral fee for any product that sells on Amazon. So they're getting that. And again, if you have a higher conversion rate and you have a higher click-through rate, you're probably going to have more sales, which increases that sales velocity, which is, again, this is all like a snowball effect. These last two, the click-through rate and conversion rate, almost play in directly to that sales velocity. So conversion rate, obviously, another kind of way you have to look at it from Amazon's perspective is they're focused on the keywords, the keyword aspect of it. So if someone searches a term, like when we were talking about click-through rate, if someone searches a term and doesn't click your listing, Amazon might think that your listing isn't relevant to that search term. So you might not rank as well for that search term. So kind of that's how that plays in there also. So that's number 4. Number 5 is the review rating. Now, what this is just the average star rating, and Amazon does 1 star to 5 stars, that a product has. And this shows Amazon the quality of the product and if the customer is happy. Obviously, if you have a terrible product, it's cheap, it's different than your listing, something's wrong with it, you might get bad reviews, you might get refunds, and Amazon's all about making the customer happy. So the higher a review rating, obviously, the happier the customer and probably the better the product. And not only is that all Amazon's looking at for a review rating, but review rating, the higher your review rating, the better your conversion rate will be. So these all literally just play in together. So review rating, and again, this one is a decent factor. It's not a huge factor, but it is a factor. Conversion rate, click-through rate are going to play in more than this. Now, this next one is the review amount. This is factor number 6. And this is just how many reviews a product has. Very simple. And this amount is somewhat correlated to the sales and the trust of the product, but this is not a huge factor in the ranking process, but it does play into it. This is probably one of the smallest factors because I've had a product that had 2 reviews rank number 1 for a product. I've had a product with 3 or 4 reviews, I don't remember, rank number 3 for a decently competitive product. It's not a huge factor, but having more reviews will increase your conversion rate on your listing and you'll get more trust. So again, if you have more reviews, your conversion rate will most likely go up if you have good reviews, a lot of good reviews. And if your conversion rate goes up, that means your sales velocity is go up. So again, it's all a snowball. These all play into that sales velocity. So again, review amount shows trust of the product and it will help it convert better. So that's factor number 6. Factor number 7, and not a lot of people think about this one, is your listing complete? That means do you have kind of everything filled out on your listing? And if you've gone into the back end of Seller Central and made a listing, I'm not talking about like platinum keywords and all those little advanced like extra details. I'm talking about the main things. Do you have multiple images? Do you have a filled out title, bullets, a description? Are your keywords all filled out? And it's missing no vital info. And those kind of things I mentioned are usually the main vital info pieces. Now, what Amazon will do is they'll suppress a listing, meaning that it's missing some piece of vital information. And when they suppress it, it shows a lot lower, or it won't even show your listing for certain words. Because again, you gotta think, click-through rate, conversion rate. You have a terrible image or no image, or you're missing a title or have a very bad title. You're not gonna convert well. You're not gonna get a good click-through rate. You're not gonna have good sales velocity. Amazon's going to suppress that listing. So if you're missing any vital information, you might not show up for keywords when you're searched. And that usually means, it doesn't mean directly you're suppressed, but if you're suppressed, your listing will not show for keywords. You need a direct link to it. So that is number 7. And the last factor, and this is one of the newer ones, there's a ton more weight on this factor, is external traffic. Now, external traffic just means if you're bringing people from off of Amazon onto Amazon. So our whole goal with Amazon is to take advantage of their organic traffic or their internal traffic, because they have hundreds of millions of customers. We want a piece of that pie, so we want to rank for our keyword and sell. But Amazon loves external traffic as well. Reason being, you got to think of it from Amazon's perspective. If you're bringing them external traffic, that's customers that they might not have had, or newer customers, and you're making them more money because those customers, if they purchase, then Amazon makes money that they would have otherwise probably not made. So they reward you by increasing your rank there. So this used to be a smaller factor in the A9 algorithm, and now with the recent update, this is one of the bigger factors. And this is one that scares a lot of people, especially newer people, because they're like, oh, Facebook ads, social media, I don't know how to do this. So this is really kind of benefiting those people who do know how to do that advertising or even social media. And again, can you rank without external traffic? 100%. You don't have to run any external traffic. You can still rank, but it will benefit you. And if you do it properly, it's profitable anyway, and it's something you should be doing. So those are really the main factors. So the last thing I want to talk about is, so how do you combine those? What do you actually do? What action steps do you take to actually rank your product higher? And first one is an obvious one, but it's stay in stock. So you lose your sales velocity if you're out of inventory because you're not selling anything. And that's really the last thing you want to do. Now, I'm not saying over order your inventory where you're ordering 1,000 units your first order. That's just kind of dumb. But stay in stock, stay on top of that. It's something easy you can do and something you can stay on top of, and just it will help you immensely. You should never be out of stock. The next thing is to focus on your listing. So your product images in your title are directly related to that click-through rate. That's what people see when they decide which listing to click on when they search a certain keyword. So your product title and your images directly relate to that click-through rate. You need to focus on those. Having a good title, having good bullet points, a description, images, and proper pricing are all directly related to conversion rate. So when someone's on your listing, they see all of those things. They see your reviews, your pricing, all of those. And usually the bullets are the second thing they see. So the way it normally works is they'll click your listing. First thing they look at is the images. They usually won't really look at the title. They've probably already looked at it a little bit. They might read a tiny bit, but they skim it. Then they go down to the bullet points, they read those, and then if they're still interested, they scroll down, they go to the description, and that's really what should sell them. And I could do a whole video on making a listing and how all of those play in, which I probably will, but we're not here for that now. So those all play into that conversion rate if they're gonna purchase your product when they're on their listing, or they're gonna click back and go to a different person's. And the last thing for focusing on your listing is optimizing and split testing your listing. Test different titles, test a different images, your secondary images, test different bullet points, and just change one factor at a time. And you can check in your kind of Amazon reports which one is converting better for whatever day you do it. And I normally like to split test for a week, so I have the same day of the week every time. Because, for example, for me, for most of the products I sell, it's different category to category, and it will be for you too. But Thursdays tend to be my lowest sales day. So if I were to do something, and I convert worse on Thursdays as well, not just less traffic. But if I were to test one title on Thursday and it does bad, and then test one on a Wednesday when it does well, then my data could be skewed. So make sure you test things for at least a week. So what else can you do to rank higher? Encourage reviews. Again, you're gonna be like, well, duh, but how do I do it? So there's different ways you can do this. First off, you can have a follow-up sequence inside of Amazon with the emails that go out to the customers. And when I say emails, it goes to their Amazon messages, not their emails, but having a good follow-up sequence, bringing customers in. Now, that's a very basic one. That's one that will convert some, but it will be a very low conversion rate doing that. The best ways to do it are really second, product inserts. So having an insert card in your product where they can do something like redeem a warranty, get a free gift, something, and you can also capture their information doing this, but you can follow up and ask for a review that way. Or if you were running ads or using something like ManyChat, you can follow up through there. If, for example, if you're running Facebook ad for a product or like a discount for a product, you're probably doing it through Facebook or ManyChat. You already have that contact info from them, so you can follow up through there. And the last way to actually rank higher is to drive external traffic. Learn Facebook ads or Google ads, test different things, what's working. You can also drive external traffic without ads. You can use influencers to push your product from different websites, or you can use social medias as well. So combining all of these and really understanding the algorithm is what's gonna make you rank your product high on Amazon and end up actually getting those sales. So that is all for this video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure, give me a like. There's gonna be a lot more videos coming out. I'm actually back for real now and will be consistently making multiple videos every week. So hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments if there's any videos particularly you want to see, and I'll see you guys in the next video.